we're now going to move on to the first of our topical slots, and this is clearly highly topical about equine safety. And I'm delighted that we've got Alan Hiscox from the British Horse Society, Director of Safety, who's going to talk about the Horse Eye or Horse Eye app and the new highway code, which I'm sure you're all aware of. So, Alan, over to you.
Okay. My Lord, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you all know, and I'm really hoping you do know, about our Dead Slow campaign and the three strands that are to it: safer drivers, safer riders, and safer horses. It's all about educating drivers how to pass horses safely, but also influencing their behaviour when they see a horse. And it's not just a ridden horse, it's a carriage horse, or it's a semi-feral pony, i.e. New Forest, Dartmoor, or Exmoor. We want to give them the knowledge so they get that attitude shift and then get that behavioural change. We want to involve drivers. Tell me and I'll forget, show me and I'll remember, involve me and I'll understand. And the Dead Slow campaign is all about that. Last year, there were 66 horses killed on the roads, over 100 horses injured, over 100 riders injured. And 80% of those incidents were because cars were driving too fast or too close to the horse. How do we get those stats? Well, we've got a page on our website where people can report incidents to us, but also we've got the Horse Eye app that is downloadable on Android or Apple phones or Apple devices. And that's how we get these statistics, so we can actually influence people. What incidents are we looking at? Well, obviously road and off-road incidents. Dogs, we all know somebody comes up to us out in the country, it's all right, my dog's okay with horses. Well, my horse might not be okay with your dog, especially when it's barking and snapping around the heels of my horse. Drones, fireworks, and trying to influencing with the RSPCA and other welfare organisations about the effect of fireworks on horses. Low-flying aircraft, part of our safety advisory group is the RAF Safety Centre, so really involved with that. And slippery road surfaces, talking to local authorities. Since March last year, we've had 12,000 downloads. What are the incidents that we want people to report to us? Well, an incident is any unplanned event that has resulted in a human feeling unsafe or a horse reacting. Could be a close pass, could be some road rage. Something that I would call the incident, where if things had been different, an injury could have been caused to the horse or to the rider, or when an incident has actually happened that has caused injury to the horse or rider. How is this in with the highway code? Well, we've used our statistics to try and influence our input into the highway code review that was announced a couple of years ago. And we were part of the DFT review group. Because of our stats, the Transport Minister was lobbied by MPs, and we were asked to join the highway code review group, along with the DVSA, DFT, Cycling UK, who I will shout out. They were very supportive of us, Living Street, and then we were in there representing horse riders with the highway code review. What are some of those points? Well, there's the hierarchy of road users that's come out. So the people most at risk are at the top of the hierarchy, which are pedestrians, and then we are there with cyclists, carriage drivers and horse riders. We're not below cyclists. That was an urban myth. We are there with cyclists. So the people who have the potential to cause the greatest harm must take the greatest responsibility. Ride Safe has come in on Rule 52, so new and inexperienced riders are signposted towards our Ride Safe Awards and becoming more aware of the dangers and how they can keep themselves safer on the roads. Rule 125, intimidation, that is a word that's gone in there. Riding on the roads can be intimidating, and it is deterring people from walking, cycling or riding horses. There it says inappropriate speeds are intimidating. The actual specification of how to overtake a horse as well. Past horse riders and horse-drawn vehicles, we really fought hard to get carriage drivers involved in this at that specific speed, maximum of 10 miles an hour, 2 metres distance. And you should wait behind the horse if you can't make those clearances. So real specific guidance to drivers. Be particularly careful, especially when approaching horses. So it's not just overtaking, it's actually driving towards horses now. And then our dead slow advice has been included into the highway code. If I see a horse on the road, then I will slow down to a maximum of 10 miles an hour. I won't sound my horn or rev my engine, and I will pass at least a 2 metres distance. And I fought really hard to get the semi-feral ponies in there. Now, they should be given the same consideration as carriage drivers and ridden horses. So hopefully the Dartmoor, New Forest and Exmoor ponies will be safer with these highway code rules. And there's the three brains working, something that was specifically, had a resonance with the DFT guys who weren't equestrians. Remember the three brains, driver, rider, but don't forget the horse's brains. And then if we go to Rule 215, the one particularly about horses, be careful with approaching our dead slow advice, semi-feral ponies, and also the three brains. But the highway code is and can be used in evidence in court proceedings. Since the Horse Eye app was launched in March, highway code on the 29th of January, and this is a figure that I would all like you to take home and shout about, road incidents since the 29th of January have dropped by 23% on a weekly basis, reported to the BHS. What do we do with those stats? Close pass operations with the police. We have dead slow signs going up with local authorities' permission, where hotspots have been identified from our Horse Eye app and the incidents. We've had the police working with us to get YouTube film out there with an influencer because of the stats that we've produced with Devon and Cornwall and Dorset Police. And the PCC, Police and Crime Commissioner in Warwickshire, gave us quite a substantial grant to produce an interactive game for drivers. So it's really important that we get this information either on our website or the Horse Eye app. So that's the dovetailing of the Dead Slow campaign, the highway code, and our Horse Eye app. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Our second topical slot is from Claire Williams from the British Equestrian Trade Association, and Claire's going to talk about the accident and equipment reporting playing your part in shaping the future. Claire.
Thank you very much, Chair. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This is really all about riding and risk. We all know that riding is a risk sport, whether you're in the saddle or on the ground, and there's always a possibility that accidents happen and injuries arise. We accept this as part of our sport, and indeed for many it's why they undertake it in the first place. We also know from research conducted by BETA that in a normal year about 14% of riders have accidents when riding. That's dropped over the last 2 years, probably because the pandemic has limited our ability to get out there and ride. But from the work we've done over the last 20 years in tracking accidents, we also know that over 60% of us will at some stage have had a riding accident, from which injury is likely to have happened. What we don't know, however, is detailed data relating these injuries to the equipment worn or, perhaps more significantly, not worn. We do know, however, that by using safety equipment, whether that be hats, body protectors, air vests, safety boots, or safety stirrups, that the severity of the injury may drop and the risk of injury will be mitigated. To continue to improve safety and safety protocols, we do, however, need more data and insight. Across the entire industry, we need to better understand how, why, and where equestrian accidents occur and the type of injuries that are sustained. And we're also particularly interested not only in riding accidents, i.e. those that happen when we're in the saddle, but also those that occur on the ground when we're handling, grooming, loading, or indeed lunging our horses. There has been a notable increase of injury on the ground because perhaps more often than not, the safety equipment that we automatically don when we get on our horses is often not donned when we're working with them. So we also need to understand how our equipment is working on the ground and if it does make a difference when worn. This information can then be fed into the process of product development and standards writing so that knowledge gained can be used to improve equipment and ensure that the standards for safety equipment are based on real data. For this reason, BETA's launched its Accident and Equipment Reporting Form. This is designed to build a database of information that will assist us to better understand what types of accidents occur when we're around our horses. the injuries that are sustained and the equipment being worn at the time, as well as, importantly, inform us about the damage that that equipment may have sustained during the accident and to ensure that it does what it's supposed to do. In order for us to continue being world leaders, which we are, in the design and manufacture of safety equipment, and to ensure that the safety standards that we produce will continue to raise the bar in protection, we need to better understand how our protective garments perform in accident situations. So how can you help? Our appeal is to everyone riding or working with horses to record details of accidents and the injuries they sustain and the equipment being worn at the time. The link is available, as I've shown, that will take you through to the form, and then with that data, we can input that into the design of equipment and the writing of standards. It's your opportunity to play a role in improving safety and improving safety in the sport we love. You have a flyer, a digital flyer in your pack with these links, and I would also add we do want historical data as well, whether that accident was a week, a month or a year ago, assuming you can remember what happened, of course. Thank you very much.